Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for. Okay, see, that's just one, two.
No pressure. I am just going to be here sitting patiently judging you. So it's okay.
Yeah. Uh, 5, 4, 3. Ladies and gentlemen, the host of the Comedy Advice podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, Stefan Settanni.
Oh, yeah, dude. You knew my middle name too. Stefan Tani. That's what the boys call me back in Phoenix. It's great. Joseph? Joe? Big J? What should I call you? What's the best?
Yeah. We're gonna start over. Yeah, Joe, Joseph, or Joey.
Okay.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2. Ladies and gentlemen, the host of the Ladies and 1, 2, 3. Ladies and gentlemen, the host of a comedy advice. 1, 2, 3. Ladies and gentlemen, the host of a comedy advice podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, Stefan Settanni. Stefan, how you doing, man?
Woo, 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 woo. Oh my God, dude, I'm doing so good. How are you?
Doing good, man. I'm glad to see you, man. It's the first time I ever seen you in person. Love your podcast.
Man, I've heard. Thank you. I've heard your velvety voice. I've actually seen you maybe in your bed. I'm not sure. You were recording from your phone, but you look even better now that it's live. There's an extra flavor of Joe. So it's lovely. I'm pleased as punch to be here in your presence, talking with you about whatever we're going to talk about.
Let's talk. You're so stupid. Yeah, what he's referring to is if you can catch the early videos on my YouTube page, I used this as my camera. So and I used Skype. So what you saw was this.
And you know what, dude? Don't knock it. Don't knock the phone. I think Kim Kardashian used the phone in her sex tape, and that got millions of views. Just
yes.
Yeah. You'll do great. You're doing amazing. I love it. It doesn't matter, phone, professional camera, but you know what? You've got the secret neck. You've got Vitamin J, Vitamin Joe. Is it Joe? Should I be calling you Joe? I feel like we're friends now, so I don't know. Joseph?
Well, I go by 4 names. I go by Joe, Joseph, Joey, or Jackass. Yeah, Kim, Kim, she was a hot lady back in the day. It's just, after a while, the appeal just goes away.
I know. I think after she tried to achieve the body of Flick from Disney's A Bug's Life, I think the appeal just went away because she's little skinny legs and then this very large bottom. And I'm a bottom boy. Yeah. That sounded gay. I am a fan of women's bottoms, but it has to be proportional. You have to have the thigh and the rest of the leg. You can't just be all bottom, because then that just creates, it's like, dude, I love chocolate ice cream, but if I'm going to have that all day, every day, it's not going to be good. And so it's just all booty all day, every day. And that doesn't have appeal. So sorry, Kim.
That didn't sound gay. That didn't sound gay at all either. Mr. Bottom, I'm a bottom guy, and hey, booty all day. I hear you.
Yeah,
so ladies and gentlemen, exactly. We're changing lives. We're changing lives here at the CTS. That's what we're doing.
CTS bottom boys over here. That's what we're doing. Talking about Kim, talking about life, love, and bottoms and booties. Bottoms.
Yeah, that's special love. That's special love. More important than anything. So where are you from?
Good question, man. Originally from my mother's vagina, but then I landed in Phoenix, Arizona. Hot as heck over here. Lived here for about 22 years, then moved on over to the East Coast, lived in New Jersey, worked in Manhattan for about 8 years, and then I made my way over. I was like, it's too darn cold. I'm a Zona boy. I like wearing flip-flops and smashing scorpions. And so now I'm back and I'm here. I'm stuck now too because I can't go anywhere.
Two things that stuck in my mind when you said where you're from. One, your mom's vagina was hot too. Two, yeah,
thank you.
I said that.
A lot of people think so. She's on the website too. If you look down, related videos from Kim K. Ray J got around. Let's just say that. Jesus. Love you, Mom.
Yeah, love you, Mom. Is your mom still around?
She's still around, still kicking, still humping.
Okay.
She is here.
I don't want to talk about a dead woman. You know, it's just like, oh, my bad, dude. But no,
that is
since she's alive.
That's so respectful of you to ask if my mother is dead or alive before you proceed to talk about how good her vagina is. So I appreciate that respect. That's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, I'm a gentleman. But it's funny that you said you're from Phoenix because I've been to Phoenix and and that you lived in New Jersey and worked in Manhattan. I lived in New Jersey for 2 months as an insurance adjuster, working in Superstorm Sandy. Woodbridge, New Jersey. And one of the things that I learned being a country boy, one, you cannot go through the fast pass, whatever it was called. You can't go through that unless you have one because you're going to get tickets and that big horn is going to go off. Two, from Woodbridge, New Jersey to Long Island, New York, it may say it'll take 30 minutes. But to make an 8 o'clock appointment, you need to be on the interstate at 5 a.m., not 4:59, not 4:57. You need to be on the interstate at 5 a.m. to make that 8 o'clock appointment that takes you 15, 20 miles to get there. It's going to take you 3 hours every morning, Monday through Friday. And how New Yorkers do that? Do not have to use the bathroom. If you have to use the I'll tell you a story. This one morning, I had to do a number 2. And it hurt so bad. And it got to the point where I'm analyzing me using the restroom in my pants because it's not like anywhere else in America where you just get off at the exit. It's like you're in the 4 lanes and there's one lane right here and it's bumper to bumper. You can't just get into another lane. Well, you can if you're a New Yorker, but when you're from Alabama, you don't know nothing about that because we use things called turn signals, stuff people in New York don't use. Second, you can't just get off the exit and then go to another. You just go into another part of the interstate. And so you have to out. And speaking of, I was sitting there, honest to God, I was sitting there debating and analyzing strategy. I was coming up with a strategy, how I'm going to get new pants because I really had to go. And this went on for 3 hours, hurting, sweating, my face pale. I was like, God, I don't know how. And finally, when I got to, I think it was Amityville. When I got to Amityville, I didn't have to go no more.
Because you went. Did you go? Did it slip through?
No. It's just the pain stopped. And it's like as soon as I got to Amityville, pain just stopped. And then I was like, oh, well, I still went to a gas station and used the restroom. It just
shot it out. Right. Dude, that's why. Do you understand now why people from New York are so fucking pissed all the time? It's because everyone's got to take a shit. Because when you leave your home, you don't go to work. You go on a journey. You're on a quest to go to work. And so you leave your house, you better be wearing a diaper, baby, or have a backup plan of how you're going to clean up your shit from your pants because you're stuck on a train. You're stuck in a car. You might be stuck on a ferry. And you're just buckled in. So if you've got a number 2, you might as well just do a doo-doo because other than that, there might not be restrooms nearby. You might be effed. And it's so funny. You were in Woodbridge. I was in Elizabeth, which was close by, New Jersey.
Oh,
not a great part of town.
Yeah.
Not great. But
New
anyway,
I spent Thanksgiving in Patterson, and then I was like,
and you survived. Congratulations. That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Patterson.
Here's another New York story. I was in South Ozone Park, my first night in New York, because we couldn't find no hotels because it was the storm took out, and I stayed at a commie lodge, and I had to pay $300 a night for that one hotel room. So I only stayed there one night. Damn. The next morning, now I got family from New York, Puerto Rico, all over the country. I mean, well, different places. And my dad's side of the family lives up in New York too. Well, of course, I'm coming there dressed up. I got my Alabama fleece on. It's cold. I'm dressing warm.
Right.
And my cousin called my cousin on my dad's side calls me and just to check on me because my sister called her or something, and she was like, "Joe, you don't come over here with that Alabama bull. Don't come over there, talking to people, saying hello. Don't say that Tyro. Don't leave that Tyro somewhere else, meaning Roll Tide." I was like, "Look, I'm from Alabama. I can handle myself. Thank you." Okay. So I'm in South Ozone Park, by the way. Anybody don't knows about anything about South Ozone Park? It's one of the roughest parks in New York. Yeah. I'm walking through my truck to go to Woodbridge, New Jersey. Long story short, somebody tried to mug me. After I got lost in Brooklyn.
That's the thing they don't know about Alabama fleece is it's bulletproof. So it's not just fashionable, it's also sturdy.
He didn't have a gun. That's his biggest mistake. And if you really want to know what he looked like the little small fat dude from Wu-Tang Clan. And it wasn't like I was like I beat up like a 6'4", muscle guy or something. It was one of those that thought he could make a quick payday off me. And being that I need my equipment, I couldn't just give it up. If he had a gun, I would have gave it up and then called it a day and went back to Alabama. But he come up here with a knife. And I was like, dude, this is not 1985.
That's amateur hour, bro. What is he, a greaser? Yeah. I mean, what the hell, dude? You should have taught him. You should have taught him how to do it. Be like, all right, next time, this is what you got to do. Have a gun.
The funny thing about the whole trip was that how much I learned about the city life, and I see why people don't drive. That is like, but New Jersey is just another version of Alabama. It's so funny because if you drive around New Jersey, you are really it looks just like Alabama. I mean, you got the railroad tracks, and you think in New Jersey, you think in north, and you think it looks just like Alabama.
Just minus the fleece.
Minus the fleeces, yes. More crime, I guess. But Woodbridge was very nice. I like Woodbridge. New York was part of Long Island. I saw my first Emmy. I did a house. He worked for CTS-Sports and won an Emmy for NASCAR. Some thing he did for NASCAR, won an Emmy. Had to sit down. He let me hold it. I took a picture. If I still had the camera, I never got it. But you'll see me with my Allstate shirt on, holding the Emmy like this. He let me hold it. He was telling me stories about Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, and it was a cool experience. I got to see the Amityville Horror House. Damn. Because I was working all the Oceanside, Amityville, all those Long Beach areas. You know what I mean?
It's badass,
so it was a cool experience. Yeah. But Phoenix was an experience all by itself. Yeah.
You didn't get mugged in Phoenix, did you?
No. I lost 15 pounds, and I don't know how I did it.
Oh,
I stayed
you know
there
what?
for
Water weight. It'll just suck you right up here. It's very dry.
from the 1 week, I stayed up there for 1 week working at helping these two public adjusters. And dude, I drank like it was no tomorrow. I'm talking about when I say drink, I had the best liquor. I had the best, drinking beer every day. I drank the best liquor. We ate good. I'm talking about high class meals, because we were staying in some type of resort. Because these people were, I wouldn't say they were rich, but they had like a little timeshare kind of deal. And
Nice.
But the bar, I mean, it was just, I went up there and just drank and ate. I get on the plane, I come back home. The first thing I did, I put myself on the scale, and I saw that I lost 15 pounds. And I don't know how the hell I did it. I was like, damn, 15. And I kept that 15 pounds off for a very long time.
Congrats, man. Hey, come live over here, dude. The Phoenix diet. Okay. We don't even know how it works.
And the cool thing about it is that people like, you're 3 hours behind Eastern Standard Time. So for me, we were talking, like you'd be sitting at the bar and you talk, and these people will tell me how cool it is that you can have to stay up to 1 o'clock in the morning to watch a game. Because, sometimes like if you're watching a sports game, you have to stay up late. And then especially on Monday night game, and they'll talk about how cool, I would love to stay up to 1 o'clock in the morning to watch a game. And I'm sitting there looking at them. Don't you realize you got to get up and go to work the next day? Like, no, especially you have to be at work at 7. Like, no, it's not fun. No, I hate that. I love the fact that you can watch Monday Night Football right when you get off work. That to me is cool as hell.
Isn't it amazing? I mean, I can just finish Monday Night Football. I'm done. I like 7:30, have a little brisket, fall asleep, get my REM cycles in. I'm fully rested for the next day. If I'm up till 1 o'clock, I'm going to be cranky. And if my team loses, I'll be like, damn, Conan. And then I'm going to take it out on my cats and my wife, and I might be cranky with them and cantankerous. So Arizona's really got to figure it out. I think we should even do it earlier, maybe lunchtime. Do a big lunch break and watch Monday day football.
You're a very smart man, Stefan.
No, don't encourage me. Don't. It makes it worse.
I remember talking to some people in Alaska, and they tell you straight up how cool it is, because football here starts at 1 o'clock on Sundays. And so, 12, 11, 10, 9. So to wake up in the morning on a Sunday at 9 o'clock and football has already started. And you can wake up at 8, maybe, if you're a family man. Dude.
Yeah, there's enough time to kill yourself later that day because it's so dark in Alaska. So that's perfect.
It was kind of weird watching the sun go down at 12 o'clock in the morning. That was kind of weird. And then looking outside, and there's a moose outside the front yard.
I would have loved that. How are meese? Are they aggressive? Are they friendly? Are they dangerous? How was your interaction with the moose?
I looked out the window and I was like, ooh, and then I sat back down on the couch. That was my only interaction with the mooses.
Oh, okay. So it didn't try to pull a knife on you.
No. No.
Great.
Not at all. That they probably tried to if I would have went outside, but no, I was one of those people that was I'm just gonna go sit down on the couch. Y'all continue to look out the window and tell me what happens. I'm gonna finish watching season 1 of Heroes.
Nice, yeah. Moose, fucking nature's boring anyway. I mean, you see the moose. Yeah. I kind of get it, dude. You see the moose. And then unless the moose is going to juggle or tell, if it has a tight 5, it's going to tell some jokes. What's the point? Just it's going to sit there. You do your thing. You can watch Heroes. Everyone else can gaze at the moose because it's their loss.
The bad thing, it was all the Alaskans that were like crazy about it. My little nieces and nephews were like, "Look, mommy, it's a moose. Uncle Joey, come here." And I'm like, "Okay, cool, a moose."
Oh, maybe. Do you think they were planning a hunt? Do you think they were planning to
I
have
think
moose
they were.
for dinner?
What I think it would happen was they hooked up with a guy from South Ozone Park that they knew that 4 years from that time he was going to try to mug me. So they had a little collusion with the moose to try to take me out. And since the moose didn't get to take me out, he tried in South Ozone Park, got the rock bottom, got that ass whooped. And, they never tried since.
That's not the first time I've heard that. Moose are very, very sneaky, conniving. That's what I've heard. They're worse than the fox.
People from Phoenix. So for people of Phoenix.
People from Phoenix, they're sweethearts. Let me just say, we are the kindest. I mean, look at my lovely cascading locks of hair. Doesn't that just say, "Hey, bro, give me a hug"? I mean, and no knife. I don't have a single knife on me. I swear, I will not mug you. I am here with love, from one bottom boy to another.
I don't see how you are so white. I mean, because when I was in Phoenix, and we tell people something, if you're not from the West Coast and you never experienced that type of heat, like for me, Alaska was weird to me, experienced that type of cold. Phoenix, Arizona was weird to me, feeling that type of heat.
What time of year did you go?
July.
Ooh, bro.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, it was one of those situations where you woke up in the morning and you watched the morning news. So today, right now it's 101 degrees, and today's high will be 123. Yeah, it's gonna be a nice day today. Go outside and enjoy the picnic. I'm like, no, not at 123 degrees. And when I'm gonna explain, see, being from Georgia and being from Alabama, our heat, people say is bad. And I guess if you're not used to it, it's bad. It's more humid. It's more, when you go walk outside and the heat, but you got that moisture hitting you too. So you sweat. The heat in Phoenix, Arizona, just imagine putting your head in a stove, in the oven. Just put your head in the oven. And matter of fact, get a bigger oven and sit in it.
Yeah, I was just about to suggest that. Put your whole body inside the oven.
Yeah.
Crank it up to like 325. 40 minutes, you're done. Yeah. You make a delicious meal for your whole family. But if you don't want to go that far, just set it to like 120, and then you're in Phoenix.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
Yeah, you're in Phoenix. Beautiful. Yeah, if you ever want to travel to Phoenix, that's why you just stick your whole body in the oven for 125 degrees, and that's your
with
heat.
A cactus.
That's how hot it is.
Yeah.
And I saw the first thing I saw was my first cactus. And it's so weird because being from Alabama, Panama City is right down the road. Then you got Gulf Shores. So when you go to those places, you see the sand on the streets. That just like what you see in Phoenix, you see sand here, you see sand there. And the first thing that pops in your mind, psychology-wise, I think beach. So I'm sitting there driving down the road and I'm thinking, okay, I see, sand. It must be a body of water somewhere. No, it's no body of water nowhere. There's not even a water fountain because I think the people in Phoenix are afraid that you'll make your own body of water. So
yeah, that's right. We're you know what? Unfortunately, we're kind of just like the chick that pads her bra. You think there's something there and there's not, but it looks nice.
No, there's nothing there.
It makes you feel good for like 1 second. So it's just how we are. But, other than that, we've got cacti. We've got the saguaro cactus, only place in the world you can find it. That's all you can do really is look at it. You can't hug it or touch it because it has super sharp spines that will rip through your flesh. We have scorpions that will probably kill you as well. Serpents like rattlesnakes that will come into your house and bite you. And sand. Yeah, I mean, it's really a great time. And, unrelenting heat. So the reason I'm so white, bro, is because I don't belong here. I don't think anyone really belongs here. I belong in a castle in Europe somewhere. That's where my ancestors came from. Probably in like really cloudy places in Scotland and England, where my name should have been like Edward the Fifth or something, and I could have been hanging out in a castle. But I'm here in Arizona, being a bro, hanging out, doing a podcast, and living life to the max while trying not to get scorched by the Arizona sun, because, dear Lord, it is relentless. It'll get you.
How hot is it right now?
Oh, it's January, so it's only like 112.
Oh, okay. So you wearing jackets there. Okay, cool.
Yeah, exactly. It's winter weather. Yeah. We've still got the pumpkin spice latte out. It's kind of that warm, cuddle up with a book kind of weather. It's wonderful.
Yeah, I bet. You sit there talking about England. You know, that's one of the places that I always wanted to travel. I always wanted to go to Europe and travel, like go to Ireland and Scotland and England and see those places. And then I realized how you got to get on a plane. And, you know, it's nothing for me. I mean, at the time, like going to Phoenix, I flew. I don't want to be on a plane for 16 hours. That's not me. I need time. When I get on a plane, I need to get up and then take a break and then you know what I mean?
That's right. That's right.
Have you ever been overseas?
Yeah, I lived in Italy. Yeah.
That's interesting. Is the reason why I asked that question. Breaking the third wall here. This gentleman speaks.
Shit. I didn't realize we had any walls. Oh my God. Is this a fixer-upper show? What's going on? Wow.
No. It's celebration for President Trump.
That was good.
So tell me about learning 2 languages and how you get started, you know, living in other countries. I guess that's the stupidest question I ever asked in my life.
That fucking dumb, dude. Can you just do another one? That was horrible. No, learning languages, it's pretty cool, man. I ended up going to school for languages. I'm Italian. Well, I'm Italian American, so my family's Italian, so I got to be able to learn that language. I was, because, you know, the business that my family does, we got to be able to lay low, speak a little language so we don't get in trouble with the feds. And, you know, got to dispose of people, do a couple whacking things, and, you know, capiche, bada bing, bada boom, gabagool, mozzarella. So anyway, I learned Italian that way. And then Portuguese, I lived in Italy for a little while. And then Portuguese I learned through Rosetta Stone.
Speaking about the podcast for a little bit, Acomedyadvicepodcast. Now, it's pretty popular. I mean, when it comes to all of my podcasts, people that I have interviewed, yours is right there on top of, you know, Apple and other Spotify. How did you get started in the podcast life?
Oh, thank you, dude. Yeah, so I started getting in the podcast life. I was in New York and I had a long commute. And so I started listening to podcasts and I was wanting to do something new. I was getting a little tired of the 9 to 5 and I was thinking, okay, what can I do here? And I just crushed all the puss that you could in Manhattan. And I thought, you know what? Let's start fresh. Let's do something new. And I ended up starting a podcast. I did it with my brothers at first, and then they got sick of it. So I ended up taking on guests. And I ended up doing a podcast where it was just like an advice podcast, light, fun, answering questions that now fans send in and answering them very sillily. So now I am very lucky to have been able to get a lot of different guests, famous comedians that you've seen on Netflix or Hulu, Amazon Prime, Comedy Central, Late Night with Jimmy Fallon and Johnny Fallon and Billy Fallon and all the Fallons, really. So we just get together, talk a little bit about them. If they've got anything to plug, then we talk about that. And then we give some advice. So it's been awesome. I'm at 199 reviews. Thank you so much. My listeners have been nothing but gentlemen and gentlewomen. and have been so kind, giving me love on the IG, giving me love on reviews. And if there's anyone out there that's listening that wants to give a review on Apple Podcasts to get me to 200, I will blow you away with my content. So just letting you know that offer's on the table. I'm willing to blow you away.
I'm going to do that tonight. I'm going to do that tonight so I can get blowed. Okay.
Hell yes. Yes. Oh God, I hope I blow you away.
Wait, you go to podcastapple.com to leave the review?
Yeah, just do you have an iPhone?
I got hell no. I use Samsung.
Oh, bro. Oh, okay. Well, then you can't do it. You just can't.
Oh, I guess I got to use my wife's phone.
There you go. If you use your wife's phone, Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, iPhones are so freaking complicated. You know, bro, Samsungs, you can just push a button, damn, it works. iPhones, you gotta it's like trying to find like the Da Vinci code just to try to make a phone call. I'm like, I can't do it. That's just me. Sorry, Apple.
Yeah. Hey, it is what it is, dude. So sorry. But
yeah, you gotta be smart.
But exactly. But go on your wife's phone, and
I will, because I'm looking forward to getting blown. I'm going to do that tonight. I'm going to go on there because I actually do listen to your podcast, and I think it's hilarious. Two more questions. I'm not saying it just to be flattering. It's funny. It's a funny podcast, and you're a funny guy. I can't believe you don't go on the road and do this, especially during the COVID, because I think everybody needs to experience COVID at least one time in their life.
Dude, I know. Wait, experience COVID for once in their life?
Yeah, just once.
It's kind of like anal. It's like you got to try it once. Some people like it, some people don't.
Yeah. I've been trying to tell my wife that for a long time, and she's like, "Sure."
She's like, "I'd rather have COVID."
The thing about it. So what's coming next with a comedy advice podcast?
Oh, dude, what's coming next? Me just keep blowing people away with my content, and I've got some really cool guests coming up. I just had oh my God. Oh, I had Mark Normand, who is an absolute delight, just scrumptious, full of comedy. Mm-hmm. Had Kelsey Cook, who I don't know if you or your wife listen to the Helpless podcast, which is a top charting podcast as well, with Taylor Tomlinson, Kelsey Cook, and Delaney Fisher. And Kelsey Cook I just had on. She's a professional foosball player. She is a what else is she? Oh my God. You see, once I do the research on them, then it just goes right out after the episode. No, but she's a professional foosball player, a professional comedian, and a professional podcaster. So lots of good stuff. I've got some good ones coming up.
So you've been at this for a while now. Newcomers like me, I've been doing this since July, and we can sometimes get the big names, but we can't get those big names. Like for me, comedian wise, there's a lot of comedians. I want to talk to Pablo Francisco. I want to talk to Sugar Sammy. There's a lot of comedians that I would love to go, talk to. But let's face it, when you got 500 subscribers on YouTube, you get some episodes will get 1,000, about 1,500 views. Some will get 500, but then you get them some. We'll get about 13 or 14. And it is what it is. No one wants to waste their time on, a YouTube page that with 500 subscribers. They just don't. I understand it. If somebody called me up, right now I'm humbled, and if somebody wants me to do the podcast, I'll be like, yeah, sure, I'll do your podcast. And they can have two listeners. Hey, we're in this together. We're trying to both make it big. But when you're like Eddie Murphy, I can understand why Eddie Murphy's not returning my phone calls. So my question to you is, when you get started, how long does it take for you to get those guests that, can make a difference in your show?
Oh, dude, immediately. I mean, get people, if you start small, sometimes, man, a big comedian or like a big star may be less effective than somebody that's smaller because maybe they won't be willing to share or maybe they won't promote it or whatever. And so I think YouTube might be a little different because that's more of like a search engine. So if people are searching for that person, it'll show up. And uh but I think otherwise, if you get those smaller folks, they're the ones that are excited to be on a podcast. Maybe it's their first time, they talk about it. So that's what I ended up starting doing, was just going local and then bringing on comedians that were here. And I like to support local. So I still have Phoenix comedians and other folks that might be a little smaller on, because I love the grind and what people are working on. So I end up doing that still, and that's very effective. And so that allowed me to like snowball a little bit. I know I'm snowballing up, but I should be snowballing down, but snowball into building a repertoire of people that I could use as kind of, hey, here's who I've had on my podcast, I'd love for you to join. And then people see that and then they say, oh, that's cool, I know this person or whatever. So I think all levels can help. So really
you start networking.
Yep exactly.
Yeah, that's been the most difficult thing for me to get started, is when you get those big names. Like, I'm not saying no names, but you're just like, hey, do you mind, posting this on your social media? And oh yeah, sure. And then you go on the social media, there's nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
You get that. And those are the big names that you're talking about. But yeah, this is a very humbling experience, especially when like you and me, we put ourselves out there, and you take somebody like you. Now, we was talking about this off the air, and being confident. I'm a very confident person. Anybody that knows me knows I'm very confident, but I do know my limitations. I know that I don't sound like you. It takes me a little time to think about what I'm going to say. I shouldn't do interviews. I shouldn't, but this is the platform that I chose to do, and so I'm going to do it. With that said, I believe that it's going to take me a lot more time to work at this project than say someone like you just can automatically just get on the mic and talk. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, dude, yeah, I do. But I was going to say too, first off, there are a lot of people that might just speak a little slower or speak not like you would expect a podcaster or a radio personality to speak. Christopher Walken,
yeah, they call it,
holy shit. Yeah, hang on every word that guy says. Though, like,
and hey. most of those people that you're talking about are mentally handicapped. Yeah. But yeah, Christopher Walken, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, if I can't wait for him to release his podcast. Hi, everybody. It's Christopher Walken. So anyway, but that's a good example of somebody that might not speak at the level of a radio personality. Also, I have no idea what I'm saying and just kind of vomits it out. So I'm not thinking about what I'm saying. And 2 or 3, I'm not sure which number system I'm using, but 3, 9, whatever. I think also that there is a cemetery somewhere of all the ums, uhs, stutters, and everything that I murdered in my editing. So I have edited a lot, especially in the beginning, and I was very critical of myself. And I knew, like we were talking about beforehand, I knew my mistakes and I knew my tendencies and my patterns and errors. And so I would put a magnifying glass over that. And then I kind of stopped caring at one point, and I was getting better. But when I stopped caring about it, the little things, I was still trying to get better. But if I was like, you know what, I put an somewhere, it's fine. I'm not going to edit it out. And then that really freed me. So it takes time, but if you love it, dude, just keep doing it. I love what you're doing. Right. I feel blessed to be on your podcast and to be talking with you, learning about how you beat out of a 12-year-old with a knife in New York. I'm kidding. But I think that you're a super interesting guy, and the shows that I saw were great. And I'm looking forward to seeing more, dude. You got a subscriber right here, right now.
Yeah, I do have one subscriber. Yes, thank you. But no, the same here, man. I love your show. I was honored that you even reached back to me, because I reached out to you. I was excited about it. I couldn't wait for this interview. And you know, when you're doing a guest, you
whoa, I didn't know is that a segment on the show? Holy shit. Wow, okay. I didn't come prepared. Is there a candle or something?
When you're talking to a guest, you know, you go do research. And then I said, you know, on this guy, you know, he's the king of improv. Let's just go at it, you know. And that's what we did. We just had a discussion. And you're like the second guest I ever had where I didn't write no questions down. I just have a discussion and see how it turns out. So you was kind of more of an experiment for me.
That's great, man. I'm so happy to be your experiment, and I'm so happy that you took no time to learn about me and ask any questions. So I appreciate that.
So what's coming? We already asked what's coming next on the podcast. You got anything else you want to promote or let people know? Let the 7 or 8 viewers know that what's coming up next for your very successful podcast.
Oh, thank you, Dill. Well, first off, thank you for having me as a guest on the show. I had a great time. I achieved audio orgasm, so I hope all of the listeners did. Listeners, keep supporting this podcast. It's just going to get better and better. And then if you want to take some time to go over onto my podcast, you can go and just search A Comedy Advice Podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen, and I'll be there. Subscribe, leave a review. Get me to 200, please. See, I'm sounding like a little girl on a Sweet 16 MTV video, but please give me 200 reviews. Love you guys, and thank you for listening. And thank you, Joe. Joe, you're just a treat, man.
I got tears coming. Anyway, that's our edit this. Anyway, that's our okay. That's our show. You're a damn fool, man. That's our show for today. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank the millions and the millions for watching. You know, Stefan, stay on the line. Everybody else, see you next Sunday.
Bye, everybody.